Hello Earthlings, Kibby here. Back when I did my old What on Earth videos, I made a couple promoting campaigns like Team Trees and Team Seas. Now the same people are launching a new campaign, Team Water, to give clean drinking water to the millions of people who are currently living with water insecurity. So to help promote them, I will be telling you a fun story related to water. But before that, the drawing you're seeing right now is a concept design for a character in a new webcomic I may or may not actually make. Her name is Nell, and she's an adorable ray of sunshine that has nothing bad ever happened to her. Anyway, on to the story. So a few years ago, I was in college, and said college was kinda in the middle of nowhere, which meant there wasn't really much to do. So to prevent a bunch of bored college students from, doing the kinds of things that bored college students do, the school planned several events and activities throughout the year for us to participate in. One of these events was a homemade boat competition. A competition that I did not participate in personally, but had friends who did so ended up being pulled into it by proxy. The rules of the boat race were pretty simple. The boat could be made of any material, but must be made by hand. No kits or pre-made parts allowed. It had to hold at least one person, and the movement of the boat had to be powered by the people on the boat. The first part of the competition was to simply see if the boats actually worked as boats. Each team would take their boat out to the buoy about 10 feet out and back. The first team up had made their boat out of old pieces of styrofoam. They placed it in the water and it floated. However, it was the boarding when things went wrong. One thing everyone knows about styrofoam is while it is incredibly light, it's also fragile. All it took was one passenger sitting down when the first snap was heard. But it still held, so he started to row, creaks and snaps accompanying him the whole way. By the time he reached the halfway point, the boat had taken on a significant amount of water. He had just managed to reach the buoy when it happened. One final snap echoed across the pond, and the bottom gave out. With a mighty splash, the passenger was plunged under the water. He surfaced just in time to hear his team had been eliminated. The next few boats fared much better, including my friends. They had some issues with steering, but all made it to the end in one piece. But then came the final boat, which was a sight to behold. It rested on the shoulders of 6 men as they brought it to the water's edge. They had apparently taken the made from any materials rule to heart, and had tied 2 wooden pallets together into a kind of raft, which on its own wouldn't be too noteworthy. However, on top of this raft, they had secured a chair. But not just a cheap plastic chair or something you'd expect a college student in the middle of nowhere to have access to. No, on this raft, they had a full armchair recliner attached. Once they had the raft in the water, the smallest of the 6 guys climbed on top of the chair and posed like the king he was. He was then handed a long pole, which he used to launch his magnificent vessel away from the edge of the pond, only for it to immediately tip over and send him careening into the water with a resounding splash. It was a sad time for everyone when the coordinators unfortunately had to eliminate the recliner raft from the competition. R.I.P. Recliner Raft, I will always remember you. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can do the like and subscribe stuff if you want, but I'd like it more if you went to support Team Water. The link to their fundraiser is in the description.